Welcome, Tara.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
How are you doing?
I'm feeling good. I love Dubai. I really do feel at home here. So thank you for having me.
Oh, well, thank you for being here. So let's just jump right into it. And I would love to know what inspires you to venture into the beauty industry, and how did you identify the gap that your brand fills in the market?
So actually, at the time, I wasn't looking for a business. I was just looking for a solution to my own problem. I was actually on an aeroplane on the way to Dubai, in fact. And I got my kids to sleep, and I was trying to fall asleep. And luckily for me, I actually couldn't. And I was thinking about my day ahead. And the hotel room had a particularly dark dressing table with no light, a mirror really far away. And I was thinking, there has to be a solution to this. And what I imagined is now the Beautifect Box. But actually, I was thinking I was the last one doing my makeup still the wrong way, the old way, stuck at a dressing table and settling for poor lighting. So I thought I have to buy this product. But the more and more I was thinking about it, I realized actually I've never seen it. Mm-hmm. And before the plane had landed, I decided that if it existed, I was going to buy it. And if it didn't, I was going to create it.
Wow.
And that's the moment that Beautyfect was born.
That's amazing. You know, so many of us still to this day, we have different makeup bags and just stuffed into each bag. It's crazy.
It's so inefficient if you think about it. And we do it every day. It's something that you do every single day. And you do your makeup to look good because you want to feel good. But the process by which we're doing it is actually not a feel-good process. And when it feels like a chore, it really shouldn't. So with Beautyfect, it actually feels enjoyable now.
Yeah, and it's beautiful too.
Yes, that helps.
So how did your concept evolve from the idea of creating something like Beautyfect to actually the product itself?
So when I had the idea, I obviously really recognized that I needed this product. But for it to be a viable business, it obviously needs more than just me as a customer. So I spent some time doing some market research and understanding how others were doing their makeup every single day. And I discovered that I wasn't the only one having the same pain points, settling for poor lighting. People would carry mirrors across the room, propping them up in front of the window, trying to get some natural light. It didn't make sense. And everyone was having that same frustration that you just mentioned, Lauren, about having makeup stuffed into different messy makeup bags.
Yeah.
So it quickly became clear that this solution wouldn't be just a solution for me, but for many other people out there. So once I had that clear, then it was about really putting down on paper what I visualized this product to look like and how I wanted it to function. Once that was done, then there was a long, drawn-out process of prototyping, engineering the actual lighting technology, which was to be the leading lighting technology in the industry for makeup, and then obviously patenting that as well, trademarking it in every major market in the world, and then finding the right manufacturer to work with, because that's really the crux of your business. When you find the right manufacturer, making sure they are in line with your vision, they've got the experience, the expertise in that area already. I shortlisted a few, spoke to them. Confidentiality was obviously really important.
Right.
And then when you feel comfortable, and I'm someone who really listens to my gut, and that's what I went with.
The power of your intuition.
Yeah. So when the manufacturer was there, then it was a case of just getting a marketing launch plan in place. And then you launch. You take that leap of faith and you go for it.
And it sounds like there was so much scientific work that went into creating this product. And I know you have a scientific background. So can you tell us a little bit about that and how it helped you to launch Beautyfect?
So actually, I was a dental surgeon.
A dental surgeon.
Yeah,
wow.
Before all of this. So I was practicing for over 10 years as a dentist. And it definitely played a part in understanding different aspects of this product. So when it came to the lighting, I'd have to get patients off the dental chair and taking them over to the window to make sure their veneers would actually match in daylight, or their crowns or their fillings. And I think that was obviously, sinking in and planting that seed in my brain, as well as the way the storage is laid out in the Beautifect Box. So when you go to the dentist and they have a tray of tools laid out, I think that's where I got my inspiration from. When you're operating in someone's mouth, you can't rummage around trying to find the next tool and just say, hang on, just hold your mouth open, let me find the next instrument I need. When it came to doing our makeup, that's exactly how we were doing it every single day. We'd be unpacking it from a makeup bag, rummaging around, trying to find one eyeliner out of 10 eyeliners that we're not using, and then having to pack it all away again every single time. So all of that played its part in the design of the Beautyfect Box, which made it such an efficient way to do your makeup every single day.
Wow. I love how you took your previous life, your previous career, and put it into something that you would never think would go into a beauty organization.
Yeah, it's so different because, I mean, I've always been a massive beauty lover, always, I think since being a teenager. But being a dentist was very different to being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I would always shy away from something I didn't know because you can't learn being a dentist on the job.
Right.
You'd have to train, you've got to study, you've got to get the qualifications. But being an entrepreneur is very different. And I remember someone compared it to jumping off a cliff and building an aeroplane on the way down. Which I
like
thought was
that
quite
analogy.
apt, yeah.
That's great. So what are the key challenges business owners face in the early stages of development, and how did you overcome yours? Because you were really jumping off a cliff.
It really was, yeah. You're not falling, you're deciding to jump, which is even crazier.
Yeah.
So there's so many challenges at every step of the way. And I think the way you actually deal with them will determine the success or failure of your business. So some of the early challenges, I think, which I found difficult, were forecasting correctly. So forecasting the budget that you need, forecasting the time that you need to do something, forecasting the stock levels you need, the manpower. All of that is challenging because you've got nothing to base it on. You've got no previous history of your business. So a lot of it is actually guesswork, but obviously you've got to take some educated guesses as well. And I think the better you can forecast all of those aspects, the better start you're going to get.
Right.
But I remember the setup took about 2.5 to 3 years before I could launch my business.
Oh, wow.
So that whole process I summarized in a minute with the trademarking and engineering, etc. That was a long process. And during that, I remember I'd have some tough days, some difficult days, and some advice my husband gave me really resonated with me and has helped me throughout. And he said, running a business, I'd had a particularly bad day that day, I remember, and he came home from work, and I was telling him about my day, and he said that running a business is actually about putting out fires, sometimes small fires, sometimes big fires, but that's what you're doing as an entrepreneur and a founder of a business, and that's completely normal.
Yeah.
When I understood that, it made it a lot easier then to deal with it, because I think as an entrepreneur, first-time entrepreneur, you sometimes think if things are going wrong, you're making a massive mistake and you should be doing what you're doing. But accepting that is part of building a business makes it so much easier. And there's moments in your life where you've got to either step up or you've got to step out the way. And that was that moment for me.
And you're the type of girl that steps up.
Yeah, I think that. So. Yeah,
good for
it's always
you.
Throw me in the deep end. That's what my husband likes to say.
I love that.
Sink or swim.
Well, I guess you just need to, huh?
Yeah.
So there are other types of beauty storage boxes on the market. So what role does innovation play in building your business? And do you think it's important for every single business to be innovative?
I think innovation is not just important for every business, it's absolutely crucial for any business to survive. They need to innovate. I mean, innovation for us is at the very DNA and core of what we're doing. We're constantly pushing the boundaries to develop new technologies, update existing ones. I mean, the lighting that we developed is a leading lighting technology for makeup in the industry, simulating real environments, so you don't have to guess what you actually look like. When you look in the mirror, you're seeing your true reflection for where you're going. So we've simulated evening light, office light, studio, daylight, and bright sun. This was not done before.
Wow.
And if you look at businesses, there's a graveyard of big businesses, Fortune 500 companies that have ended up in the graveyard because they failed to innovate. If you look at Blockbuster, Toys R Us, Kodak, Polaroid, all these businesses were huge, super successful, but just didn't innovate. So I think it's so important. And innovating really gives you that point of difference. You have something different to everyone else in such saturated markets. That's really important. And it gives you that competitive edge as well, competitive advantage over everyone else. And longevity. You know, you're there to stay. It gives you that long-term relevance, as well as positioning you as a pioneer in what you're actually doing.
Yeah, and a leader in the industry, right?
Yeah. So it's so important for every single brand. And I think no matter how small or big you are, if you're not focused on continually innovating, then you should be worried.
Do you feel like there's additional pressure to innovate from social media? People always wanting sort of the next best or what's better?
I think definitely consumers are becoming more and more demanding, and why not? They should be. And when you look at, you know, they want more for less money, and they want it yesterday.
Yeah.
And they're getting that. And, you know, why not? And I think it's so important to innovate at every aspect of your business, not just the actual product, but your consumer interface, how you're dealing with customers, how you're marketing your product. The more you can stand out, the easier it's going to be to acquire that customer, and the better the experience the customer has, you're going to get that customer as a loyal customer for life, and it sticks in your mind when you experience something different. So I just came from India a couple of days ago, and I hadn't been there in 4 years, and the amount of innovation was unbelievable.
Really,
all aspects of it. It was incredible. And one particular thing that stayed in my mind was I was in Zara, and I was standing in a queue to be served. And we all know that physical retail is not as seamless, obviously, as online.
Right.
But in this particular case, the lady had asked me, do you want to go over to self-service till? And I said, well, not particularly, because we all know how it is when you're trying to scan each product and it doesn't scan.
It takes longer than just waiting.
It's sometimes easy to stay in the queue. But in this case, I said, okay, because the queue wasn't really moving. I thought, okay, let me try this. I went over, and she said, just empty your products into what looked like just a sink. I said, sure. So I just emptied the basket into the sink, and then within 3 seconds, every item that I just emptied in there magically appeared on a screen correctly, right in front of my eyes, without me doing anything apart from just emptying it into a metal bin. And I was like, wow. And then it was literally just pay, tap, and done.
We have the same thing here in Dubai.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, my daughter loves it. She's a big Zara girl.
In Zara, okay.
Yeah, but the only thing they need to innovate is the tags now.
That's right. That was right. I mean, the lady helped me with that bit because it wasn't coming out.
So you're a dental surgeon, and you totally changed your career path. What type of person do you think it takes to be an entrepreneur?
See, firstly, I think you shouldn't let your past define your future. So for me, I trained for 6 years to become a dental surgeon. Wow. I worked for over 10 years as a dentist in London, and I didn't let that stop me then from doing something which I wanted to do, because you don't know what your passion is until you find it. And most of us choose our career path when we're so young. We're still, you know, we're teenagers. It's so early to decide what you want to do with the rest of your life.
Right.
So definitely don't let what you've been doing in the past stop what you want to do in the future. Then in terms of what type of person, I think it has to be someone with a clear vision, a vision of what you're trying to create, why you're creating it, and how you're going to achieve it, how you're going to get to where you want to be with it. And you've got to be really determined, because there will be lots of challenges, lots of fires, like my husband said, to put out. And if you are someone that will get deterred at the first hurdle, then I don't think you're cut out to be an entrepreneur. You've got to be a risk taker. Like we said, taking that leap off edge of a cliff is not for everybody. It is very scary, and I think you've got to have some guts to do that. And the whole way through your business, you'll have opportunities where you'll have to take risks, and if you don't, you will fail to grow at those opportunities. So it's important to take risks. For me, I'm a bit of a control freak. I think that helps early on, because there's so many different cogs that make the wheel turn. And if you are not familiar with every aspect of your own business, right from the ground up, it's going to be that much harder to make them each work seamlessly. So the more of a control freak you are at the start really helps.
Yeah.
However, then you need to learn to be able to delegate as well, because if you're the only one who can do everything and you can't ever trust anyone else to help you, then it's gonna hinder your growth at that stage where you need to scale things.
That makes sense.
But then the biggest thing I would say is self-belief.
I was just going to ask you about that.
I'm a big believer in whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. If you think you can do something and you truly believe you can do something, your mind, your body, your soul will find a way to make it happen.
That's true.
Equally, if you tell yourself, oh, I can't do this, I'm rubbish at this, your brain won't even try, your body won't even try. So you have to have self-belief and just go for it.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for people that struggle with that self-belief? Anyone that just feels that they have the idea, they know that they have the potential, but maybe they grew up always being told that they can't do things. So as women, there are women our age that still struggle with this because they haven't resolved it.
Definitely. And I was one of them. Like I said, my background, I would only do things when I was trained to do them. Even when I was pregnant having a baby, my husband will tell you, I read about 50 books. And it was all about, I just felt like to be prepared for something, I had to study it and be qualified. So I didn't think I was capable of doing anything that I wasn't qualified in. And I would let that put me off. And I think the way to overcome that fear is literally just to do it, to try. And almost trick your mind. Say, I can do this. Even if you've got those doubts inside you, just say, I can do this. And when you say, I can do it, take action. Take action. And the worst that can happen is it doesn't work. And then one thing doesn't work. Every failure is a stepping stone to success. That's what you've got to remember. There's nothing to be scared about. And I think when you acknowledge that and you really understand that there's nothing to lose, then you can just go for it. And that self-belief will help you. A couple of the times you trick yourself to thinking that you believe in yourself, that from then on you actually will believe in yourself, because you realize that every step you take is closer to your goal. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. It sounds like you are your own best friend.
You have to be. I think as an entrepreneur, it can be quite lonely. Everyone will turn to you for a solution when something's going wrong. And you have to, you're the one with a vision. You've got a team around you who hopefully believe in that vision as well. And that's important to have. But ultimately, you're responsible for the success of the company, for the livelihood of the people you have working with you. And that is a lot of pressure. And I think you have to believe in yourself and be your own best friend and not be cruel to yourself. Not keep putting yourself down and being overcritical. Realize that we're all human. No one's perfect. No one's got everything sorted. Even as good as things look from the outside, inside there's always issues that people have. And I think just dealing with them one at a time, and that's the way to try to overcome your fears.
Amazing. I love that. That's great advice.
Thank you.
For both as an entrepreneur and I think just for life itself. Do you have any additional advice you would give aspiring entrepreneurs looking to get started on their own ideas?
So the first thing I would say is you have to absolutely love what you're doing, because it's so hard. It's so hard. No one ever built a massive business overnight and did it easily without challenges. And if you're doing something that you love, then it's not work.
True.
Actually combining what you love, it's almost like a hobby. It's great, but it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. So I think what I would say is you can compare it to an aeroplane taking off, launching a business. So the wings would be your product. So the more aerodynamic the wings, the faster and higher you can climb. Same with your product. The better your product, the faster and higher you can grow your business. But the plane can't take off with just wings. It needs the whole aeroplane around it. So you'll need an engine, which would be your marketing plan. But to fuel that marketing, you need fuel, of course. And the fuel would be the cash. The cash is very important, funding. Most businesses fail due to running out of cash. So that is very obviously a crucial part of everything. And then you need the people, the pilot. You as a founder, entrepreneur are the pilot, but then you need a crew around you, a team that can help that plane fly. And then it's all about timing. Once you get on the runway, you can't just suddenly take off. You've got to build up that momentum.
Right.
And equally, if you don't take off at the right time, you're going to run out of runway.
Right.
So my advice would be to look at everything as a whole picture and have a plan for every aspect. And whatever you plan, so in terms of budget, in terms of time, in terms of manpower, add extra. It's always going to take more money, it's going to take more time, and it's going to take more people to make plan A work. So you need to have plans B, C, D all the way.
I love that analogy. And I've also heard that with these businesses, you don't also want to take off too fast or too sudden, because you don't want to be an overnight, like a weekend sensation, and then people forget. So it's a gradual incline, isn't it?
It's all about timing. You're exactly right, Lauren. If you try to take off too fast when the plane's not ready, it hasn't got that momentum, you're going to crash.
Yeah.
If you stay on the runway too long, you're going to crash.
Yeah.
Timing is absolutely crucial to the success of your business. And when you do get in the air, you don't suddenly go up. You're not a helicopter. You've got to have that momentum and climb slowly and do everything when it's meant to happen. And slowly, if you make the plan and you slowly build up and do it in the right way, you'll achieve what you want to do. And you've got to plan properly, because, like we said, you can get into the air, but actually if you run out of fuel midway to your destination, the plane's going to crash. So you've got to make sure every single bit is in the air.
Yeah.
Like the right people are involved, the right fuel is there to actually charge that plane to get to its destination.
Oh, that's a great analogy. I'm going to use that in the future. So lastly, the ultimate question is, building a successful brand from scratch requires a unique vision. Can you please share the key principles or philosophies that have guided your brand's journey to success?
Okay, so I think we can probably summarize it as a lot of things I've mentioned, but in summary, I would say 6 Ps. 6 Ps are important to getting the success. So they can be summarized as the product, number one, the way you promote it, the people you have involved, the plan that you have in place, the profits that you make from this plan, and then pivoting the plan. So I'll talk you through each part of those steps. So the product is obviously the first and foremost. You've got to have an amazing product, a product that truly stands out in such saturated markets. Beauty is obviously such a hugely saturated market, and if you're just launching something that's already out there and trying to stand out with that product, it's not going to work.
Right.
So having something which is truly different and something that people not just want, but they actually need is important, and that really helps that product get off the ground. And then the promotion. So you can have the best product in the world, but if nobody knows about it, it's absolutely worthless.
Right.
So how you promote it is really important. Now, there's so many different channels, obviously, with social media. You can look at TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, or all kinds of different platforms. But it's important to not just try and put your product out everywhere. Find where is your actual customer and focus on in those areas if you're going direct to consumer. So for us, we really looked at who's our consumer, what age are they, and where did they spend their time.
Right.
And that's where we started. And you can obviously do paid or you can do organic. So when we launched, I self-funded the business from my savings from working on the NHS as a dentist for over 10 years. I had to be really resourceful. And every penny I spent had to really work towards the growth of the company. So we couldn't afford to pay big influencers or spend huge amounts on advertising campaigns. We had to really think carefully. Even gifting the product, it's not a cheap product. It's not a lipstick. It's a device. We had to be so selective. So when you're choosing who to position the product with, who would then promote it, even organically, you've got to check who's following them. Is it your potential customer? look at what are the products that influencer is promoting to make sure it's in line with what you're selling as well.
Makes sense.
So all these aspects have to be thought through carefully, and then obviously we talked about plan. So that's all part of your plan, and making sure that plan can drive that profit is important, because I think the way of taking external funding, blowing it on fancy offices and a multitude of staff, and making losses year after year, those days have gone. And now a business actually means turning a profit, which it should. That's what it's about.
Absolutely.
So it's easier said than done, because marketing costs are high, salaries are high, every aspect of the business is high. So you have to really plan carefully to be able to make sure you have a profit. And then the people. The people you hire, the people who are your consumer, the people you work with externally, consultants. Every person is really important to the success of your business. And when you're hiring, people always say, take your time to hire, but be quick to fire. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that fully. The latter, being quick to fire, I do, but taking your time to hire, I am a strong believer in gut feelings and trusting my gut. So if I meet someone and I just feel that they're going to fit right in, they understand my vision for the company, they're on the same page and same wavelength as me, I don't need to take my time to hire. But if they're not going to work out, then you be quick to fire.
Okay.
And then pivot, the final one. So you can have the best plan in the world, but you've got to be prepared to pivot that plan.
Yeah.
You've got to learn from mistakes. You've got to embrace changes. Sometimes just because something wasn't in your plan, it doesn't mean you can't do that. Pivot that plan. So for me, when I launched Beautyfect, I launched in the UK, and that was my market predominantly. I wasn't planning to venture out to the US, in that first quarter, but I was approached just about 2 months after launching the brand by Fox TV Good Day New York to feature as a #1 Christmas gift.
Wow.
Well, this was too good of opportunity to turn down just because we hadn't launched in the US. So really fast, I had to arrange the product to get delivered to them. I had to make sure we had logistics all set up in place, a marketing plan to market to the US, and we did it. And now US, I'm proud to say, is my largest market. So
really,
so it's all about pivoting the plan. And even at the beginning when I launched, one of the early challenges I had was I was launching a product that gets you ready in half the time with half the effort, where you look twice as good. And I spent 2-3 years making this product, and then suddenly there's a global pandemic when it came time to launching.
Yeah.
So no one's going anywhere. They've got all the time in the world, and they don't, quite frankly, need to look any good.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the best time to really launch this. However, I decided to gear up the website for direct to consumer, because obviously retailers were closed, so that plan had to change. And then I launched anyway, and it was the best thing because people had more time. They were spending online. They had more disposable income to spend on products. They were looking for something new, something interesting. And we ended up doing what we had forecast for the full year in the first quarter.
Wow.
So sometimes challenges actually work out to your benefit if you embrace the challenge rather than letting it derail you from what you're doing.
Right.
And even the aspect of going into retail, sometimes it's better to launch direct to consumer because you understand then who your customer really is. So you align yourself with the right retailer, and it's easier then to get into that retailer once you've got an existing customer base and a proven track record. So our first retailer was Harrods, the most luxurious retailer in the world.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't have happened if I were, maybe if I would have gone out to other retailers before launching direct to consumer.
Right.
So I think embrace every challenge, be ready to pivot when you need to, and believe in yourself. And remember, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right.
Oh, that's great advice. Really great advice. And I can't help but notice the box right near you as you're chit-chatting. Right. Could you open it up and just walk us through it? So how many colors does it come in?
So it comes in 4 colors.
Okay.
This is a limited edition gold. Also comes in a matte black limited edition and a nude, which is the brand color, and a white.
Okay.
Really portable, and it has the different colors. So I'll go through from evening light to office, studio, daylight, and bright sun. And you've got 3 levels of brightness at every level. Now, the convenience of this is that you've got everything you need in one portable little case. It's USB Type-C rechargeable, and that lasts you up to a month of use.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So when I designed this product, I really designed it for myself because I wanted the ultimate convenience, anytime, anywhere. And I love the fact that I'm not tied down to a dressing table or bathroom mirror anymore. And then everything you need is just inside. Now, I just carry this here, and you see everything's in its compartment still.
So this is Tara's actual makeup.
My actual makeup. This box is actually quite old as well. And you see it's fully wipeable, which is important because I didn't want to make a product that looks beautiful on day one, but we all know makeup gets very messy. So I wanted it to actually stay beautiful throughout. And everything's organized. So you've got your brushes on one side, pencils on one side. So there's no more rummaging. It's all lit up from the lighting. And everything's in its compartments. So there's no having to rummage around dark, messy makeup bags, which are unhygienic, going through 5 eyeliners, get the one that you need every time. With this, it's there. You don't have to unpack it or repack it. When you're done, you just close it and off you go. And I use it, one for my makeup and one for my skincare. So for my skincare, I can sit back in the evening with Netflix on and put my feet up and do my serums, face masks, cleansing, tweezing, everything. And it's like a pamper session.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
It's like what we said before about something you do every single day shouldn't feel like a chore. It should be enjoyable.
Absolutely.
And it is with Beautyfect. So what started off with trying to solve this one problem, we've ended up becoming the go-to brand for the best-in-class beauty tools. So our whole range of products are really designed to outperform anything else on the market. And it's all about saving us precious time every day. That's what we need. And
what are the other, because I saw a few in there, what other products do you have under the Beautyfect brand?
So we have a whole range. So we have from the blender, which I think you saw in here. We've got the blender, which became actually the best-selling blender in Harrods just about a month after launching the brand.
I love this blender.
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
It's incredible. Your foundation goes on like it's airbrushed.
Yeah.
And then we made this beautiful little pod just to store it in to keep it hygienic. And then we also have tweezers. These tweezers are like magic. They remove the finest of hairs from the root tip, first time, every time. They don't pinch the skin. They don't cause any redness or pain. They really, truly are like magic.
Wonderful.
These are incredible. And we've got a whole range, like from sharpeners, everything, and then vanity bags, toiletry bags. But everything that we make is not just to have another product. It really is to solve a problem and to make our lives that much easier when we're doing our makeup every day. I'm proud to say that in its soft launch, we actually won the Best Makeup Mirror with Lights 2023 by Elle Magazine.
Oh, congratulations.
And it sold out in the first 4 weeks.
Wow.
Thank you.
How amazing. Is it available here in...
It is.
It is, okay.
It's truly incredible. So this is also rechargeable by USB-C, so you don't have to be tied down to one point anymore either. It lasts up to 2 weeks, so you can move it around your home, sit on the balcony, sit at a coffee table, anywhere without having to be stuck at a plug point. I'll just put it here. And we've got 3 different lightings on here, where we've got the evening light, the daylight, and bright sun.
Oh, yeah.
You can adjust the actual brightness as well.
Wow.
And also it tilts to different levels. So whether you're sitting, standing, you can enjoy any position. And it comes with a magnifying mirror as well. We have ×5 magnification, ×7, and ×10. So this product, we're talking about innovation, it's the first time we've had if you look at the size of it, the sleekness, the design, to be able to combine the lighting technology that we have, which is the leading in the world in the industry, with the battery to be able to use this product remotely and still keep it so slim and beautifully designed was not that easy. It was quite challenging. But we managed to push the boundaries and get this product to what it is. I'm truly proud of it. It's a great product.
The design of it is gorgeous.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. It's stunning. I can't wait to see what you come out with next.
Thank you. Yeah, it's exciting. I love creating products. I love pushing the boundaries. I love doing what people tell me that we can't do.
Yeah.
When someone tells me it's impossible, it's not going to be done. Trying to find a way is actually really what excites me.
Oh, well, you've certainly found a passion and you're great at it. And you've inspired all of us today. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
If anyone has any questions for Tara, oh, okay. We have one right up here.
My name is Anisha Oberoi, and I'm the CEO and founder of a homegrown beauty retail company in the sustainability space. I think your 7th P should be packaging.
Yes.
I don't think I have ever seen anything so stunning. And the minute my partner showed it to me, and I made him buy it for me.
Oh, thank you.
And when I started using it and taking it to our shoots, then all our customers would message me. So everyone's obsessed with it.
Oh, thank you so much.
But I bought it from your DTC, and I'm really happy to see that you're also on Ounass.
Yes.
My question is more to do with what went through your mind. I understand the structure of the box in terms of the compartmentalization, but I wanted to understand when you were thinking about sustainability and packaging and eco-design in the future, how did this come together? Because elementally, you know it should be a box. And I agree with you. I used to take multiple pouches. Everyone does. You're worried about stuff spilling, brushes getting damaged or dirty. But what went through your mind when you were thinking about the packaging elements and the material? Thank you.
Thank you for that question. So it's actually interesting. When I had this idea, like I said earlier, I wasn't looking for a business. It just came into my mind. I was on an aeroplane. I couldn't search for the product, but I initially thought it existed. I literally thought it was so obvious that it was out there and I was going to buy it, and it would have saved me 3 years trying to create it to actually be able to use this product. And what I visualized pretty much actually looks like what the Beautyfect Box looks like right now. In fact, a sketch that I did, the very first sketch that I did of the product, when I was visualizing it, looks almost identical, just a few tweaks from what it actually looks like, which is pretty impressive. So it came into my mind, and I think all the seeds that we said about my dentistry background, of the way the actual pencils and the brushes are held, because they're out of your way, they're easy to find, they're not all clumped together, because pencils and brushes all feel similar. So if they're in the bottom of a dark, messy makeup bag, it is hard to find them, and it takes so much time. So it literally does take half the time, and I hope you find this when you're doing your makeup now with it, to do your makeup because of this. So I think all the different things that I wanted from the product went into the way it had to be designed. And then in terms of it being portable, obviously it needed a handle so you can move it around the room, or take it out with you, take it on holiday with you. But it's truly a product that is useful every single day, not just when you travel. It's like kind of going from using a desktop computer to using a laptop. It's that freedom to not be stuck in one place.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers.
Makes sense.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for your time and for sharing with us everything about Beautyfect.
Thank you so much. It was great to be here.
Thank you.